What's up, awesome people? So today I'm going to show you in Photoshop how to do selective editing. So it's the process where you have a cool photo, everything is black and white, but then you have this one pop of color. And this is the result. It would be something like this. So how do you do selective editing? It's actually pretty easy. There's lots of different ways that people go about doing it, but this is just one of the simpler ways to do it. So let me show you how. So first you start with a photo. I got this from pexels.com, which is a free stock photography site. And this is a pretty cool picture of a lady with a red dress. So the first thing we'll do is actually make sure we have our layers panel open, which is really important, and also our properties panel. But the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm going to create an adjustment layer. So I'm gonna go here on my layers panel at the bottom, click this little icon, and make a black and white adjustment layer. And you can see that black and white adjustment layer has been added above the original background, the original photo. So then I can actually just adjust how this photo looks in black and white if I like before I start adding back my pop of color. So I can use the properties panel to, make more or less contrast or change how this black and white looks. But I can always come back to this later if I want to continue to adjust that. But I think that's fine for right now. So the second thing I want to do is now I want to bring back the pop of color of her red dress and make that really stand out. So I'm going to go to my brush tool in the toolbar over here. I'll select that and this circle should pop up. And I want to make sure that in my toolbar, my foreground is set to black and my background is set to white. Also up here, I'm using a softer type of brush, a soft round brush. So that could be something that you would use as well. And I have my opacity at 100%. So my brush will be painting at 100%. It won't be transparent at all. And now I can just go into my photo. I'll zoom in a little bit and I can start brushing on top of the dress, the part that I want to be red. And you kind of got to color in the lines, like when you were a kid, got to try to stay in within the lines and get that red part of the dress that you want. You can also make your brush size smaller or larger by using the bracket tool, the right and left bracket. So if you need to adjust and make your brush size smaller, you can just use that right and left bracket to change your brush size. I keep painting here. Go around to this edge. And if you happen to make a mistake, it's no big deal. You can just zoom into that area where you may have selected more than the dress or more than the part that you wanted to make in color. And you can simply hit the X key and it will toggle back and forth between the foreground and background. But when the foreground is white, now you can go ahead and add back the black and white to the area where you wanted it to, where you had the overlap or the error. So I can just hit the X key and go back and forth between black and white or color. Make sure I grab my brush tool again. And also I can make my brush size smaller to be able to grab the parts that I want to be in color. And for the purposes of this exercise, it may not be exactly perfect because I'm not printing this out. If I was printing it, I probably want to make sure that this is a very clean edge, but for digital purposes and for just to show you guys how to do this, I'm just going to quickly go over her dress so you can see how easy and simple it is. Then you want to utilize the larger brush to make sure you cover those areas of her dress that are really vibrant. And then as you get up here, you can make it smaller. Remember, use that right and left bracket key on your keyboard. I'm almost done here. Just a little bit smaller. And let's zoom out and see how this looks. I'm using my navigator to zoom out. I'll get this edge here a little bit. As you can see, that's pretty much covering the whole dress. And now she's got this pop of color and everything else is in black and white. If I want to go back and adjust the actual black and white background, I can go back to my properties, make sure I have my black and white layers, adjustment layer selected, and I can move these sliders to adjust the contrast between her and the dress and really get it the way I want it to look. Also, one thing I forgot to mention, if you actually notice inside of this adjustment layer, you can see where I painted black over that dress. It actually shows in the thumbnail of this adjustment layer. So that's pretty cool as well. So you can actually see what you're doing within the small thumbnail here. And even if I wanted to go back and add a pop of color to her lips, maybe I wanted to add back the red in her lipstick, I can zoom into her face. I can make one, oops, I'm gonna do that. Let me make my brush a lot smaller, make sure that the foreground color is black, and then I'll brush over her lips like this. Try to be as precise as I can. It probably could be a little better, but it's close enough for now. Let me zoom back out. So now we've got the lipstick and the red dress popping out and everything else is in black and white. So go ahead and try out selective editing and see what you can do.